So let's find out about the state of archery in the country, and who better to get answers from than the president of the National Archery Association, Selwyn. Thanks so much for your time. Tell us firstly, what's your role and how does it work?
I'm the president of the National Federation, which is the South African National Archery Association. We're responsible for the sport in the country and in fact the owner of the sport in South Africa.
So what is the state of the sport in South Africa?
Our sport is really broken up into a number of areas. We have our administration, we have our governance, we have our development, we have our high performance, and overall we're actually doing very, very well. Over the last 10 years we've seen our members who have a license to shoot in competition grow fivefold. We've seen huge benefits in our training programs for our gold squad, our high performance. In the last year we've participated in 8 international events and we've come back with 5 medals, including gold, silver and bronze. And of course then we have our development side. Our development side needs a bit of work. We have a formal development program that's on the go. Firstly, we have an introduction to our sport, which can be anywhere from 2 hours to 3 weeks. The program can also be used for clubs, for any type of gathering that it can be used, and it teaches the 10 basic principles of archery. And then we have our next step after what we call our Give It the Go program, which is our Feathers and Arrows program. It's a program which is officially recognized by the World Archery Federation and has been highly successful in our country. We have a number of instructors. In fact, currently we have over 50 instructors that have been trained to present the Feathers and Arrows program, which can take anywhere from 3 months to 2 years to complete.
Now, obviously it's a growing sport. What do you think about the future of archery?
We excel. The International Federation recognizes 3 divisions of archery. We have our standard bow, our compound bow, and our recurve bow. We excel in our compound area. We fare very poorly in our recurve area. It needs a lot of work over there. Our clubs need to provide us with more athletes who can shoot recurve bows. It's not easy. Shortly after the last Olympics, the International Federation released the statistics on how long it takes to go from a novice to the Olympic line. And for a recurve bow, you were looking at 7 years. The difference is that it's 7 years of continuous shooting, literally 10 to 12 hours a day. And we don't have that capacity in this country for a number of reasons.
So it's not easy, and if you're someone at home watching this sport and you're interested, you really have to have a really keen interest to get involved here.
Well, no, there's the recreational side as well, and there's also the high performance side. The high performance requires a huge amount of dedication, a lot of hard work. It involves precision, it involves absolute concentration to be able to achieve what they achieve. Bear in mind that after all what they're doing is that from a very long distance and as far as a rugby field, they're shooting at a little dot which is about the size of a 5-cent coin.
Yeah.
And that with a bow and arrow is not that easy.
So if I'm somebody who's interested in the sport, how do I approach the Federation with assistance to get involved seriously here?
Oh, we'd love that. We have some 78 active clubs all around the country, and the majority of them have open days, normally on a Saturday or a Sunday, and all you do is you come along. It's important that you do it this way because at the end of the day, your bow and arrow and your equipment is customized for you. So if you had to go out and buy a bow and arrow and then join a club, you're doing it wrong because you're probably getting the wrong equipment. What you need to do is join a club, see if you like the sport, go through one of our programs, which is also available from our website. And if you enjoy it, then the club would advise you further.
Tell me about the levels and standard of archery in South Africa compared to other countries around the world.
We currently ranked very high in the world. We don't participate in all international tournaments purely because of money. We receive very little funding for international tournaments, and we think it's unfair to send those who can afford to go overseas as opposed to those who qualify to go overseas to compete internationally. But we do certainly compete in the World Championships. The World Championships has a little on 100 countries competing, 500 to 600 athletes in any particular category. And of course we came back with a medal from the World Championships, and there are not very many medals on offer. In fact, there are only compound men, compound women, recurve men, recurve women, and team medals. And for us to come back certainly ranks us in the top 3 in the world. Also in the indoor tournaments, we excel pretty highly in our ranked. We have our para archers who are ranked in the top 132 in the world, which is the cutoff for international tournaments. We have bronze and gold and silver medals from the World Cup. So we are certainly ranked very high in the tournaments in which we participate. However, because World Archery sees the world ranking based on all their tournaments, we don't necessarily feature. So while the World Archery database has some 5 million archers on the database, it is not uncommon to find South Africans ranked number 13 in the world, number 1 in the world, number 40 in the world. So we are ranked quite high.
Now, given how many skilled archers we have in South Africa who compete internationally, what's government's role in this? What's your interaction with them?
We deal with government on a very high level. We deal with the Department of Sport and Recreation. They do provide us funding. We receive in excess of R1 million a year from Sport and Recreation for very defined projects as defined by the department. These, of course, are audited externally, and for many years we have received a clean audit. We also receive funding from our National Lottery Distribution Trust Fund. We've received over the last 2 years the maximum that they allow, which is 2 million per annum, of which the bulk of it is used for our development, our grassroots development, our transformation programs, as well as for our national championships and international participation. And then every now and then our National Olympic Committee, SASCOC, when it comes to international events under the SASCOC banner, such as the Olympics or the World Games or Commonwealth Games, they fund the uniforms, the athletes, transport to the venue, and the entry fees.
So what do you have to say in terms of getting more participation from government in actually making the sport grow in South Africa?
Government's view, and if you look at the various documentation, including the recent Eminent Groups report on transformation that was released this week, deals primarily with the top 5 sports, your soccer, your rugby, your crickets, etc. In dealing with it, almost all their templates from all our sports authorities are based on those sports. So, for example, we don't have adjudicators. We have programs, for example, for judges, which take, for example, an international judge, which takes 8 years. The template that government provides does not cater for our needs. And in fact, what it doesn't do, and more concerning, is that it does not show government what our successes are.
Yeah. Now, on a lighter note, what's your words of encouragement for all those participating this year?
If you've practiced, you're going to do well.
Right. Good luck to you guys for this event. And of course, that's the president of the South African National Archery Federation in South Africa, Selwyn Moskowitz.